Hello and welcome back to Odds Now. The last 16 of Euro 2024 will conclude on Tuesday with a double header, where after which we will know our 8 quarterfinalists at the European Championship 2024. There's been some fantastic quarterfinals so far. There's been some pretty dire ones as well. We won't name names at this stage. I think you all know what we're referring to. But the last 2 games to take place in this round today are the Romania versus Netherlands clash at 5 p.m. before Austria take on Turkey at 8 p.m. 2 very intriguing games, 2 different games, I think, as well, in terms of how we expect them to pan out. It's myself, Matt Hill, and Brad Walker about to preview the 2 matches. And don't forget to let us know what you're backing in these games in the comments as well. So, Brad, I think we'll start with Romania versus the Netherlands at 5 p.m. And who would have thought that Romania would be at this stage? I personally had them to finish bottom of this group, and they finished top. So fair play to them, albeit not as convincing as that may sound. They won their first game in convincing fashion on the scoreline against Ukraine, but it was a bit of an unusual pattern of play to that one. They went ahead massively against the run of play thanks to a goalkeeping error, scored a double their league thanks to another goalkeeping error, and then ran out convincing 3-0 winners. But Ukraine kind of fell apart in that game, I thought, and 3-0 was a bit of a bizarre reflection of the 2 teams, I thought. And then as the group progressed, we kind of saw it revert to type a little bit. Belgium downed Romania, and Ukraine recovered in their second game, but unfortunately the damage was done, and it was that group where all 4 teams finished on 4 points, and head-to-head and goal difference became key in that 3-0 win in the first game. Partnered with a resolute defence, proved enough for Romania to top the group. So even though they're big underdogs in this match, they do come in as the group winners, while the Netherlands, they came out second of their group in Group D. Or was it third? Sorry, third, I think it was, behind Austria and France. They had the chance to top the group if they could have beat Austria on match day 3, but unfortunately they fell to a 3-2 defeat against Austria, an Austria side that have been really impressive in this tournament so far, it must be said. That ended up being 3-2, but they were far second best for most of that game. They do have quality across the field, no doubt, this Netherlands side. You look at the back line, Van Dijk, Ake. In forward areas, they have the likes of Cody Gakpo, Memphis Depay. So they're not short of star quality, and they're on this supposedly weaker side of the draw. So there's no reason really why the Netherlands shouldn't be targeting at least the semi-final or the final here. But they've flattered to deceive a little bit so far, I think it's fair to say. They're big favourites to win this contest, but Romania are resolute defensively, and I can see it being a kind of cagey, low-scoring affair potentially, maybe hoping for a bit of magic from one of the Netherlands' star forwards. Brad, how are you seeing this game?
Yeah, Matt, I agree with everything you've said there, really. Like you said, Romania came out to surprise everyone with a first-place finishing groupie. Of course, everyone in that group did finish on 4 points. But yeah, the first match raised a lot of eyebrows with the 3-0 win over Ukraine, as you touched upon there, and then the 1-1 draw with Slovakia in their third match was enough to see them prevail. Their main strengths are at the back. I think you hinted at that there, but they've also been quite steady in front of goal so far in the tournament. Across those 3 group stage matches, they averaged 1.11 expected goals, and then you combine that with the Netherlands, who I think have looked very susceptible at the back, which is a surprise. We were talking off camera there, given some of the names which feature along that Dutch back line. They have been very susceptible. They had 1 clean sheet in the group stage, which was the 0-0 versus France, yet they still conceded 1.39 expected goals against. They conceded 4 goals across their 3 matches in total. But they have been impressive going forward. I think they've appeared quite lopsided in forward areas so far this tournament, buoyed by the form of Cody Gakpo at Liverpool. He didn't have the greatest season at club level, but he's already got 2 goals for his name here at the Euros. My gut feeling for this one, I do think the attacking quality of the Netherlands will prove too much for Romania overall, but I certainly think Romania will have their own fair share of success. That's why I'm going to be going with the Netherlands to win, with both teams to score as my best bet, coming in at 11-4 generally. And I'm also going to drop a little bit of money on Cody Gakpo to score anytime. Like I said, I think he's been the standout player for the Dutch so far. 2 goals peeling off that left-hand side in the group stage, and I expect him, or certainly wouldn't be surprised to see him do the same here. But there are questions around this Dutch side, I think, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they were to actually go out, given the questions around them at the back. But yeah, I think when you look at the names going forward, I'll be backing them to win with both teams to score.
Yeah, fair enough. The market is anticipating goals. I think that's more down to the way the Netherlands play than Romania. We know Romania are quite content to sit in and defend where they can, but it may just be that they have to come out a little bit more if this Netherlands side do produce a little bit of magic. And that's kind of what they did in the group stage. They had individual moments of magic, but they're not really flowing, I think it's fair to say. I think it could be a very important game in the middle of the park here. The Netherlands midfield hasn't been functioning all that well. The likes of Yildiz shooting has struggled to get his foot on the ball as he had done in some of their previous pre-tournament friendlies. So that's an area of concern, I suppose. Romania are very physical in that midfield, and that's where my best bet lies. I had a look at the card markets, and there's two Marins playing in central midfield for Romania, so not to confuse the pair, but it's Razvan Marin that I want to back here, who's the bigger price of the two. He's 7-2 to pick up a card in this one. He's already picked up one card in the tournament in the opening game. He does like to throw himself into a tackle, and I think that he'll be the man trying to pick up Xavi Simons, who we all know is a very technical player in that middle of the park. He'll be the man trying to link in behind and run at this Romanian backline. And I have no concerns that Romania will take a few cards for the team here if it means keeping things tight. It could be a bit of a physical stop-start affair, and that's how I'm going to play it. There's a few players that would interest me in that card market for Romania, so definitely worth having a look at the foul stats and having a look at who is going to play where against this lively Dutch attack. But in terms of the game, I don't have a best bet. If I was asked, I would probably lean towards what Brad's suggesting there, and be looking at the Netherlands to score and score and win. But yeah, it's a tough game to call for me because I just don't have a lot of faith in this Netherlands side functioning properly. I don't have a lot of faith in Ronald Koeman, the manager. I expect them to find a way through, but I don't think it's going to be a classic, to be honest. The game that I do think is going to be a lot more entertaining for us is the second match on Tuesday. This is the last game in the round of 16, and it is Austria, everybody's favourite team now, seemingly, taking on Turkey. And starting with Austria, top in Group D, of course, ahead of France and the Netherlands. Well, they lost to France in that opening game, but they certainly gave a good account of themselves. And then that sort of promise was delivered in their next two games, ending up top in Group D. That aforementioned win over the Netherlands was really good, really encouraging, especially in forward areas. But what I would just point out is they have shipped a goal in each of their group stage games, 2 against the Netherlands. So as good as they are going forward and well organised in that attacking press, they do tend to leave gaps which can be exploited at the other end as well. And I think everybody is expecting this game to potentially be a bit of a goal fest because this is a Turkey team that there are some similarities between these two sides. Yes, they're not as well organised in the press as Austria, no doubt, but Turkey do have a real sort of freedom about the way they go forward. We saw this at its best against Georgia in a 3-1 win in their opening game. Now, we've discussed Georgia on the channel a lot as a team that do give up a lot of defensive XG, so it shouldn't be a surprise that Turkey carved out a lot of chances, but it was the nature of the chances and the way that they were carving them out that really impressed me. Some really gifted technical players, particularly out wide and in central attacking areas, the likes of Arda Güler, Kenan Yildiz, and we've seen how quick and how technical they are when running at defenders. And I do think that this Turkey team had just been overlooked a little bit here just because of the clamour around Austria. I understand how well Austria have done in their group stage and stuff, but we were talking a little bit off camera, Brad, and my only concern with Austria now is they've been well backed in the market. They've been touted by many to reach the final in this side of the draw. But you've still got to go and do it. And tournament experience and tournament pedigree does come in and be a factor in these knockout games. And I doubt many of these Austrian players have ever been in a position where they're expected to win these kind of games. Normally, Austria at this stage of a tournament, they would be underdogs and they would be having a little bit of a free hit. Whereas now they're kind of expected to just brush aside this Turkey team, who, as I referenced, do have some serious talent in their ranks. And as I like to point out with every Turkey game in this tournament, this is going to be like a home fixture for them. They are so well supported in Germany. It's going to be a sea of red, which obviously won't put off Austria visually playing in red themselves. But I think they're going to hear the noise inside that stadium. It's going to be absolutely rocking for Turkey. I'm really excited about this game. I think this has got potential to be the best of the bunch, saving the best till last. Brad, how do you see this one?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there, Matt. Particularly, I think the goals can be expected in this one. In terms of the team news, first, both sides will be missing a couple of players. Austria will be without winger Patrick Wimmer, who was suspended, and their centre back Gernot Trauner is also injured. I think he's picked up a thigh injury. And Turkey, crucially, will be without Hakan Çalhanoğlu and Samet Akadin, the centre back, who are both suspended as well. There's some big names missing there for them, and I think that may play a part in how I see this game going. As you said there, Austria really were the best of the rest. I think outside of the big hitters, as you touched on there, they seem to be everyone's favourite teams now. We sung their praises when we were previewing the tournament, and they've certainly performed well. Like you said, the win over the Netherlands meant they finished top in Group D ahead of the likes of the Netherlands and France. Crucially, they scored 6 goals in the group stage. Only Germany scored more. They are susceptible at the back, like you touched upon there. Both teams are, like you said, there are a lot of similarities. Turkey also scored 5, but equally look leaky at the back. And that's the route that I'm going to be going down here. I think Turkey, they just concede too many chances for my liking, really. They average 1.59 expected goals against across their 3 matches. And the extent to how much you judge the previous meeting between the two sides, I don't know, is up for debate, but they did meet in March, and Austria actually won 6-1 in a friendly. So again, the extent, how much that will play a part here, I don't know. But it's certainly something worth considering. I'm going to be back in Austria to get through here. There's 2 bets really that stood out for me. I went for Austria to score at 1.5 plus goals. That comes in at 42 to 41 at vbet. I think you're getting over even money there. I think that can be a safe bet to play there. I certainly think both of these sides will score goals. And then I'm going to go on the half-time, full-time market. I'm going to have Austria leading at both. That comes in at 23 to 10 with StarSports. Like you said, both sides concede. Both sides are good going forward. But yeah, I'm just more convinced that Austria will have more to come out on top in this one.
Yeah, good points well made there, Brad. That 6-1 could prove relevant as well. Maybe just lingering in the minds, although I suppose you could spin it as potential lessons learned there and desire for revenge. It's going to be interesting to see if that does play into the dynamics of this game. I see goals in this game, I really do, but unfortunately the market does too. So I mean, you're not getting much above it. Well, I don't even think you're getting even money about over 2.5 goals. I think it's now odds on, so that's short enough for me. As I say, I'm not saying Turkey are going to get through this game, but I see them giving themselves a good account of themselves, particularly exploiting some of the spaces they may get in attacking areas. So it's Yildiz I want to play here in the anytime goal scorer market. I think he's been a real live wire in this tournament for Turkey. Juventus, and Juventus rate him extremely highly. I was reading the other day, Alessandro Del Piero thinks he should be given the number 10 shirt. I mean, that's pretty high praise in Turin, I think it's fair to say. But I really like him. He's so quick, so direct, and he seems to have been given license to do as he pleases in these attacking areas, and that really encourages me. So I think there's a shade of 4-1 available about him to score any time. I'm going to bring the best bets up onto the screen now, just so you can all see them. 6-1, pardon me. So that's even better, even more attractive. That's with BetMGM and their various partner bookmakers as well. He's a general kind of 9-2 chance. If you can get that 6-1, I think that's a stonking bet. I think only Cristiano Ronaldo has taken more shots without scoring than Yildiz as well. So he's really in among it there. His shot creating actions is really high as well in the tournament rankings as well. So he just gives you end product, and he hasn't scored yet, but it feels to me like a matter of time. And I think tonight may well be the night. So yeah, Kenan Yildiz 6-1 score anytime for me in that game. And as I say, I see goals. The way I would play it is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals, which just gives you a little bit more juice. As I say, I'm really struggling to see a clean sheet in this game. That is 5-4 available. Generally, it is being backed as well, so it may be even a little bit shorter by the time you see this, depending on when you're watching. But yeah, just to rerun through Brad's best bet as well. He's going for Netherlands to win with both teams to score 11-4, and he's got Cody Gakpo to score anytime, something I was quite keen on myself as well. I think he's looked a real threat in this tournament. And then Austria to score over 1.5 goals, just a little bit over even money, and Austria on the half-time, full-time as well, 23 to 10 with Star StarSports. So that concludes our last 16 betting previews. I hope you've enjoyed these videos. We will, of course, be back to take a look at the quarterfinals, semi-finals and final once we know how those respective games are lining up. So after Tuesday's games, we'll take stock and we'll have some quarterfinal match previews for you. I'm not sure if they're going to be individual videos or just one big video yet, but I will definitely keep your eyes peeled on the channel. The best way to do so is to hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified when our previews go up, and that means that the prices will probably still be available when you watch the video, so definitely worth doing. Drop us a comment with your best bets down below and give the video a thumb up if you've enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed watching this. See you again at Odds Now very soon.